My boyfriend had a female bro. She talked like a classic pick-me girl and wore a dress the exact same color as mine. I thought she was a cool girl pick-me until that day in the pouring rain when she carried me on her back for 3 miles. The first time I met Olivia was at a dinner with Nate's frat brothers. Before we went, Nate just laughed and said, "Liv? Oh, she's basically just one of the guys." The moment I saw her, I was genuinely confused. Olivia's features were bright and flawless, and she was wearing a soft, elegant white maxi dress. She looked up at me from her stool, 2 little dimples appearing on her cheeks as she smiled shyly. There was absolutely nothing one of the guys about her. Olivia had a slender figure, and the white dress made her look incredibly graceful. I, on the other hand, was a bit chubby, and the color of my dress clashed perfectly with hers. Olivia opened her mouth, and the first thing she said was, "What a coincidence, we're wearing the exact same color." Yes. Compared to her, I looked like a complete clown. I felt incredibly awkward, but I still reached out my hand to be friendly. Look at her pretending to be shy. She used to be so violent, she'd chase me down the street to beat me up. My boyfriend Nate laughed, playfully shoving Olivia's shoulder. Olivia suddenly jumped up, slapping Nate on the shoulder. Her voice was playful, chirping like a happy little bird. "What kind of nonsense are you talking about? See? Am I wrong?" Nate laughed, dodging her slaps. I stood frozen in place, my outstretched hand hanging awkwardly in the air. I turned my head and watched my boyfriend roughhousing with her. It felt like I was the outsider. My nose stung, and I closed my eyes. I didn't want to watch them play fight, and I didn't want to leave a bad impression of being a jealous girlfriend the first time I met his best friend, until I heard a loud, resounding smack echo through the room. The moment I opened my eyes, I saw a bright red handprint stamped across my boyfriend's cheek. Nate's shocked voice rang out, "Holy shit, did you put your whole arm into that slap?" After getting to know Nate, I slowly got to know Olivia. Whenever Nate mentioned Olivia, his mouth was full of praise. He said Olivia was cheerful and optimistic, a true example of a girl raised with old money. I added Olivia on Snapchat and Instagram. Olivia's Instagram was filled with photos of her surfing in Hawaii. Her slender figure and radiant energy made her look like a white seagull soaring over the ocean. There were photos of her snowboarding in Aspen and writing papers in a Parisian cafe wearing chic glasses. With her slender swan-like neck lowered, she looked gentle and intellectual. Even though I felt a bit sour because of their play fighting that first time, I couldn't help but sigh to Nate. Olivia really is an incredible person. Nate snatched my phone and said, "Hey, why is her profile public now? She used to have it set to close friends only." Nate's casual remark made my sensitive mind overthink. Why did she suddenly make her profile public right after I added her? As I scrolled through Olivia's feed, Nate immediately leaned his head close to mine to look. He was highly enthusiastic, constantly urging me to scroll to the next picture. After a few swipes, I suddenly didn't want to scroll anymore. I was jealous. I asked him, half joking, half serious, "Do you have a crush on her?" Nate replied with a goofy grin, "Who wouldn't like a rich heiress? But don't worry, she doesn't date." Alright, stop overthinking. If something was going to happen between us, it would have happened years ago. As he said that, he continued staring intently at Olivia's photos. I locked my phone screen. Through the dark reflection of the screen, I clearly saw his crestfallen expression. It looked exactly like the disappointment and sorrow of not being able to obtain a coveted treasure. Actually, I had probably heard the name Olivia back in college, the very day Nate accepted my confession. He was drunk, repeatedly mumbling the word "Liv" under his breath, a 6'2" guy, crying like a dog in the middle of a diner. I heard the friend next to him shove him and say, "Enough, Liv just went abroad to study. She's not dead." His friend called me, and I rushed to the diner to pick him up. I half carried, half dragged him home, by a planter on the side of the road. He grabbed the hood of my sweatshirt and violently threw up all over me.